back at you again with another episode. And this episode is going to be so massive. It's going to be so special. It's going to be so impactful that you definitely need to let somebody know about this episode. Tell your friend, share the episode, comment, subscribe, and like, right? But you know what we're about. We're about uplifting men, getting men to understand the power of who they're supposed to be, and just most of all, making a positive impact within this world. So this is what we're here to do. I am so honored and happy to have this brother on my show. I've watched him for several years doing his thing, making moves, being powerful, being massive. Not only is he a anointed speaker, he is also a change agent. He's also a survivor. My dog told me I needed to have him on the show. So when my dog B Goat, shout out to B Goat, that's my dog. When he say, "Hey, I got somebody that I think you should talk to," I'm gonna listen to him. This brother right here, man, I just want to introduce him. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and we're gonna get into a conversation about just overcoming near-death experiences, because both of us are survivors, right? Both of us have had assassins by the enemy assigned to us to stop us from doing what we're supposed to do. But when God is with you, can't nobody or no devil in hell stop you. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about just life making an impact and how that experience changed his life. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to my frat brother, the Good Alpha Chapter bros, Dr. Melqaam Shaw. What's up, Melqaam? How you doing today, dog?
What's up, dog? Thank you, brother Young. I appreciate you. It's a pleasure to be here, man. Happy to be alive. Grateful to be alive. And I'm ready to get to it, brother.
So tell people, I gave them a little bit of your backstory, but just give them the brief introduction to who Dr. Melqaam Shaw is, what you're about, and what kind of drive, what pushed you to get to this point, right, where you're impacting the world. I see you all over impacting students. I know that you're a college graduate. I know that you speak to students about persevering through college. I know that you're a survivor. I know that you're a PhD. I know that you are a graduate of Dr. Eric Thomas's program as well. So you got some skin in the game, and you bring something to the world. So just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, bro. And we're just gonna flow with the conversation and get into like your life, where you come from, how you got to where you're at, and just what you want to bring to the world.
Perfect. So I'm from this place called Wheatie State Forest. It's in the middle of nowhere, South Carolina, in the rural parts of South Carolina, man. So I'm actually from the sticks. So no red lights, no green lights, no McDonald's, no Family Dollars. I got a Dollar General, maybe about 11 miles from where I grew up. So I'm
Wow.
from that little area, from a rural area. In that area, everybody know everybody. It really takes a village to raise children in that area. We grew up in a community. So my neighbors, my friends, their fathers was my fathers, their moms was my mom, their grandma, my grandma. So that's the community I grew up in. I grew up in that family environment. Education background, similar, rural, low economic area, middle school, high school. So what my area lacked in resources growing up, we had phenomenal teachers. And because of those phenomenal educators who actually cared about showing up the work to teach students, more importantly, specifically high school students, showing up to teach high school students ways of writing, ways of using math and how to use math in the real world, why it's important to read. Those things impacted me, even though I probably didn't want them to impact me. They impacted me.
Right.
Still in that environment, it's exposure to out for a lack of better terms and going in depth, just street stuff. Just even though
Right.
it's the country, it's still street stuff going on. So you still got people selling drugs. You still got people doing this. You got people doing that anywhere you go. And so I grew up, man. I didn't have my father in my life. The first time I saw my father, I was 13. J. Cole
Wow.
got this line. J. Cole got that line talking about boohoo sad story, American dad story. And so the first time I saw my dad, I was 13. So I grew up in a home where my mom raised me. I was raised by my grandmom, and I was raised by my community as well. So that's a special place in my heart. And where I come from, so many other young men, they have faced similar situations that I have. And now I'm grateful to see that in the area that I'm in, there's a heavy male presence, heavy black male presence. And I'm talking about black males that's in their early 20s, in their teens, like they're just present and they're doing things in the community. And I love to see it. So that's a little bit about my background, where I'm from. Man, I went to a college out here in South Carolina, and I started off in Conway at Coastal Carolina University.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the era, man, we turned Coastal Carolina up. Me and my friends, we was all the way turned up, man. So shout out to Ralph Lauren. We always had the Ralph Lauren on.
I feel
Um,
you.
and Coastal was a pleasure, man. Coastal was fun as far as like partying goes, things like that. And I got kicked out of Coastal Carolina University, man.
Wow.
I got kicked out for a gun charge and simple possession of marijuana. I actually got arrested while I was working in a barbershop. It's a lot going in my mind. So
Wow.
in high school, one of my family members set me up to participate in getting my cosmetology license.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got my cosmetology license in high school. When I was in college, I was cutting hair, doing things like that. And then I started cutting hair in the barbershop, and I got set up in the barbershop. The barbershop I was working at was a front. Went into a holding cell for a couple hours, and I knew immediately, I'm like, bro, jail ain't for me. It's not. So by the grace of God, I ain't never been back. Um, got kicked out of the school, and by the grace of God, I was accepted into Howard University. And being accepted into Howard University at the age of, I was maybe I was 21 years old. So that was my first time, 21 years old, where I saw black people achieving goals that they set. Where I saw
Mm-hmm.
black people younger than me and at my age, they come into class with suits on, briefcase on, they driving foreign cars, pulling up to class. And I'm like, dang, like black people do this? Like, so it was definitely a culture shock
Mm-hmm.
for me. And Howard is where I really learned about my culture, who I am as a person. I learned about my Gullah Geechee. I was aware of it, but going to Howard University taught me how precious and golden it is to be from the low country of South Carolina, to have that Gullah Geechee blood and that Gullah Geechee accent and that Gullah Geechee facial features is such a blessing. Uh, Once I was done at Howard University, of course, I crossed Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. You already know, at Howard University. And from there, I went on and got my master's degree online from the University of Phoenix, and my doctoral degree from the University of Phoenix as well. Also, I was able to get these degrees, man, simply because in high school, where I talked about those educators, there was one specific educator that told me I should write a few essays for this scholarship called Gates Millennium Scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote the essays. The essays were due like a Friday. I wrote the essays on a Tuesday. It was like 10 essays you had to write. I ain't think nothing of it. She told me maybe about 2 weeks later that I was a finalist. Then 2 weeks after that, she told me I received the scholarship, and I just was like, all right, cool. But I didn't know like how life changing that would be to not have to pay for education. I
Yeah.
mean, I still took out loans because I went and bought a Crown Vic, and I put some 24s on it. So I used the refund money to put the 24s on the Crown Vic.
Oh
So
wow.
you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
oh man, I
Hey,
would do
we
it
all
all.
been there, bro. We all been there.
I would do it again. I'd do it again. But yeah, so got the Gates Millennium Scholarship, and that's why, like, one of my things when I'm talking to high school students, and college students, what resources do you have in play so that you can get education for free?
Right.
Because education is just a tool that's used to design your life. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
feel. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And the best way to wealth is self-education. And so that's where I'm at. That's a little bit about me, a little bit about about my educational background and how I got to become the person I am, and to be able to go into Howard University with a changed mindset was when I was at Coastal Carolina University. It was the day before my junior year of college. So the day before my junior year of college, I was at this place called Broadway at the Beach in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Bars out there. So I'm out there turning up with some friends. Different places I go in. The bartenders passing drinks. They're like, "Yo, Black, what's up?" At Coast, I was the guy who was throwing parties, so
Mm-hmm.
everybody knew, throwing parties, cutting hair, and I believe what happened to me was I was out there, let's just say, trying to court a young lady. I
Mm-hmm.
sent her a few messages to see what she had going on. And next thing I knew, I woke up in the hospital. I
Oh
woke
wow.
up to a doctor saying, "Mr. Shaw, you're here at Grand Strand Hospital in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Uh, we have you in what we called an induced coma. Something so traumatic has happened to you that your brain has swollen, and the best thing that we could do to save your life was to put you in what we call a medically induced coma." And so what happened at Broadway at the Beach is it's believed that I was attacked by four guys. Of course, I'm from low country South Carolina, so when my grandma tell this story, and my grandma in her 90s, every year it multiplies. So the first year was four, the next year was eight. So we in year I don't know, we in year 11 of this thing. So she might tell you I fought 22 people. She might, but we believe it was four guys that attacked me, maybe more than four, maybe just one, but we don't know for sure.
Mhm.
Uh Law enforcement did tell family members that I was too far from the nearest video camera to see what actually happened to me. 2 weeks later, a similar incident happened to a gentleman out there who has less melanin than me,
Mhm.
and his assailants, those assailants were actually caught. They had video footage of that attack, but no video
Mhm.
footage of the attack that happened to me. And so
Mhm.
from that one incident, man, I was in the I was in ICU for 7 days. I was in a medically induced coma for 3.5 days. They released me from the hospital. I had to learn how to walk, had to learn how to talk, had to learn how to eat. Like my mom would have to bathe me, my sisters would have to bathe me, feed me, and I'm 21 years old, and I'm
Wow.
upset. I'm upset, one, because I'm from the environment where it just didn't seem right that something like this could happen to me of all people.
Right.
And so where I'm from, there's people in my environment that's like, "Yo, we don't care what's going on, somebody got to pay."
Right.
And so there was nobody to just revenge. It just
No
wasn't there.
retribution available,
It,
right?
it just was. It wasn't there. We had no leads. We had no leads, and so this was, for me, this was more so frustrating because now I'm constantly in a state of mind of like anything can happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just heightened on all levels. And it took me about 6 months to fully recover as far as learning how to walk, talk, and eat again. I went back to the campus of Coastal Carolina after I took a leave of absence. A professor called on me to read in class one day. I read about two sentences and I couldn't breathe because of damage that was done to my throat.
Oh
I
wow.
went into the doctor. I had emergency surgery, and from that event, I've now had over 14 surgeries on the reconstruction of my throat. There's an inch of my throat that's missing, and my right eye has been reconstructed. So this is things that I've lived with this, and man, it was hurtful, it was painful, it was a process, and in that moment of being on life support, I was literally trapped inside of my own body. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with this, but when you're on life support, you can't open your eyes. You can't communicate. When I say you can't communicate, you're not opening your mouth and talking to anybody. But for me, my experience was I was hearing everything that was going on. So I was hearing the conversations the doctors was having. I was hearing the conversations my partners was having. I was hearing my mama cry and saying, "Baby, baby, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay." I can hear my homie saying, "Black, wake up, wake up, wake up." Like I can remember those things, bro. I remember what that machine sounds like. I remember what it smells like. I remember those things. I remember being in the hospital with my eyes swollen shut, both of my eyes swollen shut. And I remember seeing a man stand in the corner of the room, in the left side of the room. And this gentleman never said a word to me. And because he didn't say a word to me, I understood what he was saying. And so in my mind, subconsciously, I told the gentleman, I said, if you give me a chance, I'll do what you called me to do.
Bro, this is powerful. This is powerful, bro.
Immediately, immediately I woke up. Immediately I woke up.
Woo, boy.
Immediately. Immediately.
Bro, I got goosebumps listening to you tell that story. Man, that's powerful, bro. That is powerful, bro. And so you're here for a reason. Glad that you were able to make it. But also it's dope that you knew that God was in that corner saying, "Hey, you're gonna be all right if you just I got my hand stretched out, you come back to me." But something that you said, it just jogged a memory for me is I remember the smell of that hospital because I got shot point blank range. And I
Mm-hmm.
literally was in the hospital for about 3 weeks to a month. And so the first couple of days I was sedated and then I woke up, but I would be, I had the morphine so I could put myself when I got too much pain, I would shoot up, knock me back out, all the tubes in me. I hear the beep, beep, beeps and everybody come in to check on you and this, that, and the other. But one thing that I'll never forget is that smell
Mm-hmm.
because it's just a different smell, bro. And wow. So I
Mm-hmm.
know what you're talking about. I know what you've been through, man. First of all, I want to say I'm glad that you're here to impact the world. And I think the reason that the devil assigned his assassins to take you out because he knew how powerful you were going to be once you became that version of Melqaam that the world needed to see, right? And a lot of times he wants to stop us before we get started. So, man, once again, man, thank you for, surviving. Thank you for answering the call when God gave you that call. Because a lot of times people don't do that, right? And it could go the other way. So, man, I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless right now, bro, to listen to your story and to know that you've been through 14 surgeries on your throat, bro.
Yeah, bro. Over 14.
Bro, but
Yeah.
the crazy thing about it is when I hear you talk with power and authority.
Yeah.
When I've watched your speeches, bro, and you come with power and authority, and that impact is in your voice. So I love that because what that shows, it doesn't matter what you've been through, and no matter what reconstruction that you've had to go through, God can put you where you need to be and allow you to do the things that you need to do, bro. So kudos to you for that, man.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Yep. Amen to that, man.
So you leave Coastal Carolina after the incident, um, and you go to Howard, right?
Yeah, I'm at Howard. Yep.
Okay, so tell us a little bit. I know you talk about you had never seen so much, excellence and people doing the things, but like, what was your time like at Howard, and how did that shape you to become who you are today? Did that give you any motivation to like give back based on what people
Perfect.
have given to you? Did you want to turn around and give back?
Perfect. Great question. So my relationship with Howard, one, man, me and DC, man, it's not that I hate DC. I don't
Mhm.
like DC. Let's just go ahead and put it. I don't like the infrastructure. I don't like traffic. So coming from the South, the
Right.
DC to live was just automatically like, bruh. But the thing about it is I was already groomed to be at Howard University. So
Hmm.
every summer since I was 6 years old, I would go spend a summer in Washington, D.C. because I have relatives in that area. So I was already accustomed to Washington, D.C. I was already accustomed to Howard University. And I was already aware, but I wasn't fully conscious just yet. And
Okay.
once I became conscious, it wasn't until I got to Howard that I became conscious, because
Mm-hmm.
I realized at Howard, the further away I ran from Howard, the more dangerous my life got.
Wow.
So after graduating high school, I had the opportunity to actually go to Howard University, and I was
Mm.
like, bro, I'm not leaving South Carolina. Why would I go leave South? All my homies in South Carolina. I'm staying with my homies.
Right.
Like, I'm not, like, I got peoples up there, and so when I got there, I saw, like, sometimes the best thing you can do in order to help home is to leave home.
Right. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I saw that at Howard. And it wasn't necessarily Howard that encouraged me to give back. It was the community that I came from.
Mm-hmm.
What Howard did was expose me to other people that's doing similar things that I'm doing in their communities. So
Mm-hmm.
now I'm linking with individuals from Philadelphia that's giving back to their community, giving back to their high schools. I'm linking with individuals from Los Angeles, from Haiti. And so I'm visiting certain places with people that I met in college, and
Mm-hmm.
we giving back, not knowing that we giving back, just doing what we do. But that's what Howard taught me. Howard taught me that it doesn't matter the amount of resources that you have, you still got to do what you got to do.
Right.
And when you do it, the way that you do it, people not gonna see the work that you put in.
Mm-hmm.
They not gonna see it. So it looks good, but they don't see the work that go in. That's what I learned from being at Howard those couple of years.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. And I'm glad that you were able to, you know, heighten your consciousness when you got to Howard. But it's interesting how you said that the further you got away from Howard, the closer you got to your demise. And that's even great for me to hear you say that, because that means that you're self-aware of what was going on. And a lot of times we're not self-aware. And oftentimes, like, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, that's pretty much country, small town, but you change the locations. The hood is the hood, right? Don't really
Yep.
matter. It just look
Yep.
different, but it's still a hood, right?
Yep.
But if me getting away from that city and then end up leaving Alabama to go to the military was the best decision that I ever made in my life, right? Because I do not know if I would still be alive if I was still in Birmingham or, in that same area. So just to know that sometimes you have to leave. So if anybody's listening to this podcast and you're contemplating, like, you just want to stay around your people, sometimes you got to break the mold, right? You got to break outside the glass, right? It's like the emergency button. You have to break the glass and then hit it. Like, you are the emergency button for your community, for your family, and you got to break that glass to get up out of that area. Because how can you help anybody if you're in the same situation as them? And the mindset that we often have is like, we want to make it, but we want to stay around the people that we grew
Mhm.
up with when we make it. But you have to
Mhm.
understand. Then what I've learned to understand, what I've come to understand, is a lot of times everybody's not meant to stay with you as you progress and you take these levels in life. Because, like you just said, people don't understand what it took for you to get where you're at. They just see what you have, and then they're angry with you because you are progressing and you're making moves and you're speaking in schools and you're making an impact and your life is growing, and they're still stagnant. So now they're mad at you. And then that's almost where that Cain and Abel story comes in, right? Because you remember, Cain killed Abel because Abel gave a better sacrifice. And God basically told Cain, if you just do well, you could do the same thing. But you didn't want to sacrifice what was the best of you. You wanted to you wanted to cut some corners and give me secondhand offering. And so I'm equating to, like, people want to give secondhand effort in life, and then you give the best of your effort. Now you're elevating, and those that are giving secondhand effort, they're mad at you and they want to do something to you because you're elevating, and they're not. So that's just a great reminder that you got to move around in order to elevate. You can't, sometimes you just can't level up where you from, man. So
Mhm.
thank you for sharing that, man. I appreciate you like just reiterating that to the audience as well. So what made you decide to, one, do the ET speaking program, and when did you discover your love for speaking, or when you knew that was your gift or your purpose for your life outside of what you do in academia?
Perfect. I discovered speaking was my gift. Like when I realized it was after graduating from Howard in 20 right around 2014. A high school teacher invited me to be on a high school panel with 6 other individuals. I showed up. She wanted me to talk about the impact of having a full academic scholarship, uh, especially since I had just graduated from Howard. So I
Hmm.
was talking to high school students. I showed up. Out of the 6 participants that were on the panel, I was the only one that showed up. And so she said, Melqaam, you're the only one here. You now have an hour and 45 minutes to talk to students. Initially it was 15 minutes, and we were 2 hours and 12 minutes into this thing before the principal was like, all right, let's go ahead and call it. And it was at that moment that I realized, like, yo, like, it just, I realized that was my gift, and that was the thing that I told that gentleman in the light, like, if he gave me a chance, I would do it. And
Hmm.
it, like, when I did it that day, in that moment while it was happening, it was a conversation between myself and that being while I was talking to those students, because I was fulfilling what I told that gentleman I was going to fulfill.
Right.
And it's like every time I speak, bro, like, it ain't, it's 10 years,
Wow.
10 years doing this, and it ain't changed once. It ain't, I still get nervous.
Hmm.
I, 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 I'm still prepping. And what encouraged me to channel this gift and tap into Dr. Eric Thomas and his Game Changer program was the fact that I saw him doing what he was doing, the way that he was doing it, and how he was doing it, the clothes he was wearing, and being true to himself,
Hmm.
turning down 5-figure checks because they wanted him to wear certain clothes, and he was like, "That ain't
Yep.
who I am." And
Right.
his team being like, "Bro, are you crazy? We can get paid. Like, right now we getting vending machine money. They talking about 5 figures." And so,
Right.
like, it was like those things right there, his values, his morals. And I was like, this is something I wanted to do. And at the time, uh my my fiance and I, we talked about it, and she was like, bro, it's just not feasible. And I was just like, bro, you really gonna do, like, I just want to do this. She's like, it's not feasible. Once you, like, have the income to do it, and we secured in certain areas, then do it. And once we got there, I did it. And
Okay.
when I did the program, my life took off as far as the bookings, like getting constantly booked. People seeing, like, oh, this is what you're doing. You speaking to high school students, you speaking to college students, you helping high schools and colleges increase graduation rate for Black men, increase engagement rate and retention rate. Okay, perfect. Oh, you wrote a book. Okay, great. And now adding, oh, you're a doctor to the resume. Like, these were some of the things that in this program, like, I was able to do. I was also able to meet other people that speakers and doing it. I was also able to meet other coaches that's they're speakers, but they're coaches as well. How do
Hmm.
you how do you make money from a gift? I come from a low environment where, come down to the church, speak to us, we can give you $25, $30. You know, come show us some love.
Right.
I come from that.
Right.
So it's, I'll give it all. I'll
Hmm.
bro, I did, we've been in this for 10 years at speaking now. Out of
Right.
those 10 years, Bruh, I did so many events for $0. Like
Wow.
I came out in the negative so many times, traveling to go see students, traveling to go speak. But being a part of that program, it was you. What are you willing to sacrifice?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you willing to sacrifice? And I told that man I would do what he took what I was called to do. And so I'm paying it forward, man. We on year 10. And most importantly, in year 10, not only as a speaker, but as somebody who's operating a business now, an educational consultant business, I'm realizing where my talents are as a speaker. I'm
Mm-hmm.
realizing where my talents are as a business owner. I'm realizing where my weaknesses are at. And so now instead of, oh, I'm coming and speaking to your program, bro, I was just burnt out. Like, who
Mm-hmm.
else do I who else do I know that speaks so we can collaborate?
Right.
We just we just did an event at a high school where we brought in a young lady that does financial literacy. And
Mm-hmm.
then we brought in a gentleman that's making a name for himself in the music industry. We brought him into this high school. We got him prepared for prom and graduation season. The feedback was phenomenal. And that's where I'm at now. It's like, how can I collaborate with others? Like,
Right.
how can we impact these students together? It's just not about it's just not about me. It's not about how good am I at speaking.
Right.
Like, bruh, we all got a story.
Mm-hmm.
We all we plenty of us been almost dead. You know what I'm saying? Plenty
Right.
of us. It's like, where we at with this thing now? And I'm grateful, bruh, because at this place, that's what the program with Dr. Eric Thomas taught me. And then I had the opportunity to work with this gentleman named Kendall Ficklin. Um, Kendall Ficklin, man, he's been rocking with ET for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Once an armor bearer for ET, man. So once you start doing your history and your lineage, you start seeing people and noticing people. And
Mm-hmm.
Kendall Ficklin he's an OG in this game. I
Okay.
mean, heavy hitter. One thing Kendall Ficklin told me, we was on the call and he was like, "Yo, Melqaam, as much as you love speaking, you need stable income in this moment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta secure your family first." And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Bro, like, I'm just gonna chase it."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "All right, cool." And I chased it, and bro, me and my wife, we just been,
Right.
because it's just, I wanted it so bad, but I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
able to provide for my family.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm in a situation where I have stability. So
Right.
now the business of speaking, the business of consulting with educational institutions, it's fun again. It's an
Right.
opportunity again. It's okay. What these kids need, like, I'm good. This my fee. This what we talk about. This what y'all can do. Okay, cool, great. What do your students need?
Right.
All right. What do your teachers need? What do your administrators need? What do you need in this moment? What are your problems? What are your challenges? What are the consequences? How can we solve these problems? Let's not just bring me in to come speak. Okay, that's cool. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's cool, but what a real impact happening at if we're not talking about making some transformational changes here.
Right.
And so that I mean, that's what I got from Game Changers program, and then
Mm-hmm.
that's what I got from working with Kendall Ficklin as well. And also that's what I got from knowing when I received the call to having the awakening of, like, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's good, man. And it's crazy because I'm in I guess it's the 2.0 version, but ET, shout out to ET, shout out to Jeremy, shout out to Inky, CJ and Coach Crump, all them cats. Matter of fact, I'll be at the conference in Atlanta in a couple of weeks. But I know that story, right? CJ tells that story about how all he had to do was wear that suit. And
Mm-hmm.
and he thought about it. He's like, we can go over here to JC Penney and grab a suit, you know what I'm saying, and make it do what it do. He's like, nah, CJ, you tell him I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
CJ's like, what? You ain't gonna do it? He's like, I'll do the gig for 10,000 or however much it was, right? So I'm very familiar with that story, and that story is hilarious. But what you said is true. Like you have to be authentic to who you are and what you're trying to do. So how do you stay like authentic to who Melqaam is in speaking? Because you know, a lot of times we look at the people that we admire, and if we're not careful, we watch them so much, we study them, and if we're not careful, we start mimicking them in certain ways. How do you stay true to Melqaam and what your gift is and your style?
Oh man, for a long time you couldn't tell me I wasn't baby ET out there. You couldn't tell. Uh, and so how I stay true to myself, being authentic, being transparent, honesty is, bro. I just tell my story.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I just tell my story. I share things that I've experienced, and I only talk about what I've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk about nothing else. I don't if I can't talk about it if I ain't experienced it. So that's how I stay authentic. And on that stage, bro, there's a ritual that I go through, man, giving praises to God. Ask him to deliver me every time and let his will be done.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I still get the BGs. Soon as I before I hit my wife be like, bro, like what going on with you? Shit, you gotta get right, boy. And so but that's how I stay true, man. And when it's go time, it's go time. That's just it. When it's go time, it's no time to prepare. It's no time to get ready. It's already here. We already been through it.
Right.
It ain't we ain't this ain't nothing we prepping on.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm coming to you, the prep is already when I'm coming to your institution, the prep is already done.
Right.
That's how I'm authentic to myself. It's the work that I'm doing when I'm talking to principals and superintendents on the phone before I show up to an event. When
Mm-hmm.
we exchanging them emails and I'm messing up in my emails, I'm misspelling words or I'm messing up the time and I gotta please forgive me. I'm taking response. It's those things that allow
Mm-hmm.
me to stay authentic, man. And then also having a council of individuals in my life, man, that I go to, individuals that I talk to who tell me, bruh, you you a trap guy, you like trap music, you hood a little bit, you got some degrees, you living okay, and you like talking to students. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like word, like it is what it is.
That's I love that, man. I love that because a lot of times we hang with people who tend to tell us what we want to hear and versus not telling us what we need to hear, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
what do you do, right, as far as like to grow your mind, to continue to elevate yourself, like in the personal development space? Because you talked about personal development in the beginning, right? What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are some of the books you've read? Like, what is? Do you have a ritual, daily ritual? How do you manage your day, and how do you pour into to Melqaam so you can have overflow to pour from? Because the problem, the things that people do a lot of times is they just do enough self development to give people what they need versus doing personal development to get what they need, and then they pour from that overflow.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Great question. Great question. And in this moment of my life, I'm not happy. I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I, I'm grateful, and I'm working my way to that happy place that I want, that I got. And there's some things that I got. So the method for me that I use is called GROW. It's an acronym, GRW. Gym, read, workout. All right, gym, of course, some kind of physical fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Read. I'm in my when I say read, that's my Bible.
Right.
Read. That's my Bible. I'm reading the
Right.
Bible. I
Right.
mean, I got my other books I'm reading for personal development. Let's what I got over here. The Art of War, The Law of Confession by Dr. Bill Winston. This is day one. I got the Superior Man in the car. The
Okay.
Magic of Thinking Big, the New Jim Crow, the Fate of Africa, things like that.
Right.
Uh, Black Skin, White Masses. I stay reading things that manipulate the mind,
Mhm.
give some history as well. And then workout. Workout can actually stand for gym as well, but workout is always, for me, the W stands for what am I working out? What problems am I working through? What problems am I solving? What is it that I'm working out? Okay, in my mental capacity, where am I at? Am I in a place where I can give? Am I in a place where I can receive? Am I in a place where I don't even know what place I'm in?
Right.
Am I going through the storm, or I'm out the storm and on the way to another storm? Or
Right.
am I I'm am I in this storm and I already see the next storm coming? What am I
Mhm.
working out? So that's what it stands for me. That's typically my routine. GRW. Gym, read, workout. I keep it simple.
Well, that's good, man. That's easy. And what I like about it is, I was gonna ask you this, but you already answered it for me. So what we try to do on the Genesis podcast is we try to give people actionable steps that they can take to shift the paradigm of their life, right? A lot of times people give a lot of information and they overcomplicate it where people have a bunch of notes, but they don't have anything that they can really pinpoint and say, this is what I need to do. This is what I need. Okay, that's easy for me to do. Now I can measure what I need to do. And you've really just made it that measurable, right? Gym, read, workout.
Yep.
Gym is gym, like you said. Read as you read your Bible and other personal development books, and workout is work out any internal issues, any problems that you foresee, things that you know you need to work on. So, man, that's a gym right there that Dr. Shaw just gave y'all. So, if y'all listening, you need to write that down at GRW. So, we appreciate you for that, man, because that was a question I was going to ask you, man. So, tell me what is on the horizon for you, in the next the rest of this year and moving forward. I already see you doing big things, man. I see you speaking at, conferences with 10, 20,000, 20 people. Like
Mhm.
you've been putting in that work, right? And that's what, a lot of times we just talked about it. They wasn't with you shooting in the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like Mike, I don't know if you remember Mike Jones. He said back then they didn't want me.
They
Now
all
they all on me.
on me. They
They
all
about to
on me.
be all on you, bro. I already see that coming. But you tell us a little bit about what you got going on, man, and what we can expect from you in the future.
Thank you, bro. I received too, man. So what I got going on right now, man, I'm in the process of navigating the educational institutional world, specifically higher education through different career opportunities. So I'm excited about that because one goal for myself in the future is to see in academic what route can I create for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm open to all possibilities. So one time I wasn't open to wanting to be a principal or wanting to be superintendent. Those things did not interest me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm open to the ideas of it because it don't have to look like what the story I made up in my head. It don't have to
Mm-hmm.
look like that. So that's on the horizon. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the MC Society, which is an educational consultant business that works specifically with high schools and colleges to increase retention, graduation, and engagement rate for Black male students. I'm excited about that because as the president, what I get to see now is we get to collaborate with more individuals who have the hunger to give information to students now. I'm excited about that and what that looks like. I'm excited about the opportunities I get to create with that. And also, I'm excited about the opportunities that I get to share with other people. And specifically, I'm excited about the payroll when we collaborate with others, bro. Like, I'm excited about paying people what they worth for an hour. Like, I'm excited, bro. Bro, like, it, because I've been doing it for 10 years and now I'm working with people, they may be on year 1 and year 2
Mm-hmm.
and they get to see what an hour of their time like look like, and okay, let's negotiate. What do you want? And they see that they get more than what they, bro, that's exciting to me. That's
Wow.
exciting to me. So I'm looking forward to that. And what I'm looking forward to as well, man, I'm looking forward to sitting back, enjoying time with my wife. I'm looking forward to having our first child, starting our family, and I'm looking forward to be able to do the things that I always wanted to do for my wife,
Hmm.
not because she want me to do them, but because they're the things that I want to do.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? I'm ready to fly her out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm cool with hitting the Spirit flight, but I know she ain't cool with getting on a
Right.
Spirit flight. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You
So
want to get it at first class, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm ready to do those things, man. I'm excited about that, and then I'm excited about the plans that I'm talking about, but also I'm excited about the plans that God have that I don't even know exist. And
Hmm.
so I'm excited about the tribulations that come with that. I'm
Right.
excited about the pressure that comes with that. I'm excited about the losses that come with it as well. You know, just as much as I'm excited about the win, I'm even more excited about the losses, bro.
Bro, hold up. You gotta rewind that back, bro. You one of the few people I ever heard say that you are excited about the losses that come with elevation.
Yeah, bro.
Expound on that just a little bit more, because somebody needs to hear that, right? Everybody's always excited about the good things that come with elevation, right? But we often know when a diamond is made under extreme heat and extreme pressure, you don't get oil unless the olive is pressed. So that's a portion of the journey that many people don't speak on. But you went out, you stood up there, bold as day and say, "Hey, I'm excited about that." Man, just elaborate on that a little bit more, because somebody needs to hear that.
Yeah, two things. One, I grew up in the AME church, and this it's a song that say, "I'll go if I have to go by myself. If my mama don't go, my daddy don't go, sisters don't go, brother don't go, father don't go. I'll go if I have to go by myself." And so I'm excited about the losses because we are more precious than gold. And with the losses, man, the losses that come separation,
Hmm.
that come elevation. But I'm at the point where I don't mean any arrogance. I don't mean any bad intentions. Where, dawg, I don't care what nobody else got going on. I don't care. Like, I've been put on this earth to do what I've been called to do, and I've been assigned a family, and I've been blessed with a wife. So I gotta lose certain people on the way, or I lose connections with certain people. Dog, that don't mean I don't have love for you. I
Hmm.
still love you. I can love you from a distance. There are people that are in long distance relationship as we are speaking. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They make different size for forks. A baby might have this fork, adult might have this size fork. You know what I'm saying? You can eat with any type of any length of spoon.
Right.
So I'm excited about the losses. I'm excited about severed relationships. I'm I'm excited, bro. I'm excited about the problems that arise just from communication and comprehension.
Hmm.
I'm excited to work through, okay, what is it that I'm experiencing and how do I express this to someone else that I may be in a disagreement with right now. However, I still don't want to make them upset. I just wanted to express myself. How
Hmm.
do I I'm excited about messing that up.
Right.
I'm excited. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited if you call me and we don't get to talk. I'm excited. I'm excited if I'm calling you and you ain't picking up your phone. I bet.
Right.
No, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited, bro, because I know what that's just more focus for myself and my family. That's more focus. That's more time with God. That's more that's more me being by myself, critiquing myself on what's going on, and then having conversations with God as I'm critiquing myself, like, bro, I'm doing this, and I'm coming to you, God. Like, bro, I ain't got nobody interrupting me in my conversation, so I'm excited about the losses. I'm excited if that mean family don't be around. Bro, I'm excited if I don't get to see everything happen for my grandma that I want happen, or my mama that I want to happen. I'm excited because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But if it don't happen in this moment, I'm still excited. It may not be them. It may be my children
Right.
that, what I'm saying. I'm excited, bro. Like,
Man,
so
that's
those.
that's that's dope, bro. That is dope, and I like what you said, and I want to give you this, bro. It's not arrogance when you know what your purpose is, you know who gave you your talents, and you stick to your guns on that. That's called knowing who you are and what God designed you to be. It
Amen.
only gets to the arrogant point when you don't acknowledge who gave you that gift and who gave you that purpose. So no, you're not being arrogant. You're just confident in who God designed you to be. Because you said, I know what my assignment is. I know who my wife is. I know who my family is, right? You have clarity. So you have clarity, you have alignment, and you have accountability. Those three pieces right there to the puzzle is gonna just be like a bulldozer and clear a lot of dead space, a lot of dead rocks, a lot of dead rubble out your way. And just I love it, man, because what you said, right? Once you're okay with losing things, right? Now you have something that the devil can't hold over your head, which is a relationship, because your biggest um joys and your worst pains come from the same place, and that's
Mhm.
relationships with people that you're close to. Think about it. The people closest to you are the ones that typically hurt you, and but
Mhm.
the ones that are closest to you that typically give you the greatest joy in your life, right? So
Mhm.
now he can't do that to you, because when you have that mindset of these people are near and dear to me, and I can't let this go, I can't let that go. Now the enemy can come in, and he's going to use three devices to get us, right? He's going to use discouragement, he's going to use deception, he's going to use division. Who is the
Mhm.
main orchestrator of all those things? Yo, the people close to you. So now you got leg up because you're so strategic with the way that you think and that way that you move. Like it's a game changer, bro. So hey, again, he just dropped some gems, man. Y'all better be listening to Dr. Shaw, man. This my frat brother, man. The bros is doing what the bros do. He dropping some gems. He's giving you some nuggets for life, man. So if you are listening to this episode, man, I would say listen to it once, come back and listen to it again, come back and listen to it again. You're gonna have to probably listen to it 7 times to get
Yeah.
everything that you need. And that's just the way it goes. We typically don't things don't resonate with us until we've seen them or heard them at least 7 times. This bruh is giving some major nuggets. Man, I tell you what, bruh, I am so excited about this episode and when it drops and the things that you share. And I love it because a lot of times I try to structure the thing the way that I wanted to go, but something told me, said, just let it do what it do.
Yeah.
And knowing you and watching you, I knew that you were definitely going to deliver. You were definitely going to be able to bring them nuggets. So we're gonna close it out, man. I definitely appreciate this time and discussion. We definitely gonna have to bring you back again at some point, man. And I definitely think I've been talking to BG, man, and I'm thinking I got some things in my head and there's some way people like us can collaborate, right?
Yeah.
Because one can chase 1,000, two can chase 10,000. But just imagine if we all get together, right? And I know you're a little bit younger than me, but it was a cartoon called Voltron,
Mhm.
and so each one of those pieces were like were strong within itself, but when it combined, it became the defender of the universe, right? It became this
Mhm.
massive machine that it couldn't be defeated. And that's what we got to do, right? We got to start combining like Voltron or Omega Supreme if you're talking about the Transformer. You remember that big thing, right? So everything it combines and it makes one massive machine that can't be stopped. And that's what we got to start doing in order to effect change, to impact change, and to bring change, right? We got to be the change that we want to see, and then we got to collaborate, because what you said about working with people and bringing people, if the vision only requires you thinking small. You ain't thinking big enough, and he is thinking big. And I also want to give you kudos for being a bridge builder, because that's what I heard you talk about, becoming a bridge builder, where you paid your dues, and now I want to help you, help you up, right? And so I already know you're gonna be blessed because of that, right? Your mindset is just different. Most people like, it's about me, it's my time to shine, and that's what I'm gonna do. You're like, nah, let me bring you on, look with me. So, my motto is everybody eats B, from paid in full, right? And then we all keep that mindset, that mentality, man, we can't do nothing but win, man. And I definitely gonna keep you in mind, with some people as well down here that I know, in the education space. So don't be surprised if you get a call, saying there's an opportunity, man, because I believe that God always puts people that will put your name in rooms that you're not even aware of yet. And so I want to be one of those people to put your name in a room that it hasn't been yet. And I just want to expose you to my circle of influence. Not saying it's no massive circle of influence, but I believe somebody can hear this and see this and understand the value you bring, the skill set that you have, and the skins you have on the wall, man. So once again, kudos to that. What I want to do is the last two things is I want you to tell people how they can follow you, how they can book you, where they can find you. And then I like to close out with a hot bar. So give them, something from your speech, just a quotable if you got one.
Clear. All right, perfect. So melqaamshaw.com, melqaamshaw.com. You can find information there about me, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, melqaamshaw.com. That's all my information. And a bar. So when I got kicked out of Coastal Carolina University, there was a friend of my family that lived in Washington, D.C. I moved to Washington, D.C. while I was on probation. Before I entered Howard University, this gentleman came and picked me up. He was about 70 years old. I was 21 at the time. Around 21, 22, came out, do-rag on my head, had the white tee on, got in his car. He looked at me and he looked in my eyes. He said, Dr. Shaw. He said this to me before I became Dr. Melqaam Shaw. He said, Dr. Shaw, the promise before you is always greater than the pain behind you. And that's my bar. The promise before you is always greater than the pain behind you. When greatness is calling you, you better pick up because greatness may never call again. My name is Melqaam Shaw, and thank y'all for y'all time.
Hey, you heard it, man. That was another hot bar, man. This is some quotables, some actionable steps, bro. You got to get this episode. I would say this. This is my bar for tonight, right? I just recently said it to somebody, but Peter, Jesus' disciple, he had a bad day. Judas, a disciple, had bad character. Which one are you? Are you having a bad day, or do you have bad character? People around you in your circle, you need to understand if they're Peter or if they're Judas, and then you jockey them in your life based on their character. So have the emotional intelligence to figure out the Peters, because a lot of times we throw away the Peters and we keep the Judases, and then we wonder why life is out of whack. Well, you got a traitor in the midst, and you invited them to the inner circle. Hey, this is CY. This is the Genesis Podcast, the Renaissance of Manhood. My guest today has been the Dr. Melqaam Shaw, the good bros, the Geechee Gully from South Carolina, as he say. I didn't say it, he said it. Hey, and tune in to the Genesis Podcast. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Hey, stay tuned for this episode, because this right here is gonna be heat. I promise you. Hey, until next time, Genesis Podcast, and we out.